Each spring during college, I traveled to Mexico to build houses in the slums of Tijuana. I was struck by the stark contrast of my safe private school campus to the very difficult realities of the families we were serving. One year, a terrible rainstorm came through and prevented us from completing the houses. We were forced to flee the area for fear of our safety. I questioned why we should return to safety and comfort and not the families we were serving. The families had done nothing to deserve their lifestyle, nor had I done anything to deserve mine. Returning to school, I questioned the relevance of my liberal arts education. How could I possibly address the urgent needs of the very poor with a business degree? Being convinced to continue my studies, I learned about microenterprise development, an emerging field practiced in the developing world to improve the lives of the very poor by providing access to mainstream financial services. This was my first encounter of business practices being used to do good in the world. This was a big moment for me and revealed the connection between my education and my desire to make the world a better place. From the 1930s through the 1960s, Black people across our country were largely cut out of the mainstream financial services market through redlining. Nationally, even today, African Americans are still far less likely to own homes than are whites. In 2010, the national Black homeownership rate was 45%, whereas it was 73% for white families. This home ownership gap and this history of not having access to mainstream financial services has created the wealth gap. The Portland Housing Center recently surveyed a group of African American and white participants and found that African Americans use rapid tax refunds twice as often and rent to own services 7 times as often as white respondents. I would like to build a better community by creating a culturally competent workplace at Capital Pacific Bank that effectively serves the whole community, the whole business and nonprofit community in Portland, providing access to mainstream financial services to everyone. This solution includes establishing an equity team with employee and board engagement at Capital Pacific Bank. It also includes creating a vision where we are leading the way in our industry and community by purposely creating a culturally competent workplace, thereby providing opportunities and support to diverse board, staff, and client candidates at all levels. Our community will be improved if every business and nonprofit in our community has access to culturally competent and mainstream financial services. Thank you.